Well, listening to that press conference with me was our foreign editor, Philip Turl. And Philip, the bulk of the questions that he was asked was about Taiwan and whether or not he truly believes that China does plan to invade Taiwan. Tell us a bit about what Biden had to say on that.
Well, I think that the bottom line here is that this is the one issue that everybody has been concentrating on as to what the Chinese are going to do, what the Chinese are going to say, what President Xi is going to do and say, and what President Biden is going to reply. Now, the US has made it pretty clear that their one China policy, which includes Taiwan as being part of China, has not changed, but it will not allow China to invade Taiwan and to take control of it militarily. And that is something that President Biden has underlined several times during this fairly short press briefing, saying that as far as he is concerned, there is no plan by the Chinese president at the moment to launch a military attack against Taiwan. And I think that underlining that is maybe what has been going on in the war in Ukraine, and China been looking at what has been happening between Russia and Ukraine and maybe thinking twice about trying to launch an attack against Taiwan, plus the strong position of the United States. And Joe Biden underlining several times saying, well, the elections, not only the midterms, but my election as president of the US, saying America is back at the table, America is back on the world scene, also shows that we have a very strong position and we will stand up for people and stand up for human rights. So I think on that issue, it was pretty clear that President Biden told President Xi, don't go ahead and invade Taiwan. And the message coming out from President Biden there was that the Chinese president appears to have heard that message for the moment.
Indeed. Biden said directly there, I think we understand each other, relating to his meeting with President Xi. And he was also asked, wasn't he, about North Korea, and Biden sort of suggesting he's not completely convinced that China has complete influence over what North Korea does.
Well, the question actually was, can North Korean nuclear tests, will they go ahead, and can China talk North Korea out of it? And President Biden said, well, it's hard to say whether China can control North Korea, but he said they have an obligation. North Korea should not engage, and we would have to take direct action against North Korea, which in no way would be any direct action against China or against China. But we are going to protect our allies in the region, notably Japan and notably South Korea, if North Korea starts any further nuclear activity. And then at the end of that press conference, he said, let's make it clear, I mean what I say and I say what I mean. And I was as straightforward with President Xi as I possibly could be. We know each other. We've known each other for many years, at least 10 years now. We've seen each other many times. And he was as straightforward with me as he always was in the past. So there was no hope here in these talks, Nadia, of a major breakthrough, major announcements, a peace deal being signed, for example, or anything like that. I think there's still a lot of animosity or suspicion between China and the United States. I think China perceives the United States as wanting to contain it, to stop its expansion, and the United States seeing China as a country that is trying to facilitate more authoritarian power around the world and wanting to become the world's leading economy. So a lot of issues that the two leaders won't see eye to eye on. But I think as far as North Korea is concerned, as far as Taiwan is concerned, maybe global warming also, these are some of the issues that those two leaders can discuss and make some progress on.
Philip Turl, thanks very much indeed for your analysis. You were listening live there to the US President Joe Biden speaking on the sidelines of the G20 in Indonesia.